Hi, everybody. It's Life and Vibe, otherwise known as Ray. And sorry, I have been so MIA and not just churning out the Sarasota Tim content and making responses to all of his driving in his mobile air conditioning unit because he really is only bringing us a couple of videos from the uh camper, and he's bringing us more videos than ever from the CC Rider. The truck never gets driven. I cannot believe that he spent so much money on a vehicle that he never uses. I mean, he never uses that truck, and he never travels, he never goes anywhere, never does anything. But anyway, Tim's been sending out the smoke signals, I guess, about Tammy to his haters, that we can tell that obviously if you're out there spending 150 some dollars, or was it $159 on items at Walmart, and it's things such as toilet brush cleaners, this has got to be somebody else's credit card on some things, because there's no way that Tim is spending that much money. He was like giddy in joy, and he didn't go in the store to film it. So it's very strange, very odd. And he has been trying to tell his audience you just can't live life solo. And that got him a lot of views. And he then did another video kind of doxing this house that was on sale in Florida. And obviously, if you are looking for a home, you would not be wanting to show to your internet audience the places that you are considering buying, because then they could locate you, and that's just not a good nor wise plan. Tim, we already know you got some weird guy stalking you on YouTube and following you around Sarasota, and it's not New York Dan, it's some other guy. It's all been going on, and I have been on vacation this week. So anyway, let's just get Tim started. Let's just switch it around. Let me make us all. Obviously, I've got my fair use statement over here. I have been kind of on vacation this week. Tim doesn't get vacations. I do get vacations. Not kind of. I've been off work. I've been taking PTO. I started my classes for grad school yesterday. I've got a seminar starting up in just a few minutes, or obviously not a few minutes, but shortly. And I've just been enjoying the beach and enjoying time with the puppies. And so, yeah, and it's my birthday tomorrow. So it's just been busy. And so, yeah, but let's get this Tim out the way. He's sped up at 1.25. He says the days are long and hot, which is why he's in the mobile air conditioning unit. All right, take it away, Tim.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim coming to you from the UTC Mall. I finally did it. I got off my lazy bum out of the camper to BJ's. I needed a few gallons of gas, topped off the car, then rode over here with about an hour and a quarter to go before closing at 8. It's 7:32. People, of course, are filing out. You don't want to be that guy. So I'm out of there. I got a measly 5,500 steps today, short of my 7,000 geyser level. But that's because I didn't go anywhere today. I went to Walmart this morning, and I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, sermon stuff, and then I wanted to make that steak. I picked up $160 worth of stuff at Walmart. I mean, I bought some bathroom brushes and sprays, and I got.
This seems interesting because we know that it is the time that the lease for the apartment, probably that Tammy had rented, has come to an end, and she is moving out. That kind of makes sense because around, I want to say it was July last year, she and he had been returning back from the trip to California and out to Vegas and so forth, and we're traveling back and met up with that real estate couple. And so I would say that would be about the time that she potentially had already leased the apartment or was leasing the apartment, or something of that nature. So it seems to make sense, and kind of getting to the time in August when Tim would have purchased, was it August, September, he got the CC rider, and then he got the truck and all that. He just spent a lot of money. It was interesting, but yeah, it's just interesting. So I wonder, because he's not been around making as much content either, and it could be because he is bored. There's not a lot to do, and so he doesn't feel like he's got a lot to film and upload. And not that the golf or anything that he was doing last year was particularly interesting, but he was uploading constantly. And I think maybe he's potentially helping Tammy with the apartment. They're not moving any furniture though, so I don't know if there's a lot to do other than just kind of clean it and make sure they have everything as it should be before they move out, which makes sense with the toilet cleaner.
You know, bar soap, some meat. You know, grocery shopping is very simple for me now. I got butter, eggs, heavy whipping cream for my coffee, and meat. That's it. I mean, there are no other ingredients or side dishes and all that, which is fine. I'm still a 200 man. I guess I'll stay a 200 man. Just continuing to work on strength and muscle tone. Today, I did take the day off. They do say, you know, sometimes take a day off. Don't go to the gym 7 days a week. And so I did. And it's harder than a two-peckered polecat. It's just ridiculous. It just makes you...
Tim probably go into the gym and like lift the weight like a couple of times and like, I'm just so worked out. And he's like, done. I have to say that's one of the things that I have taken advantage of this week is being able to get out early and walk the dogs at the park near my house, and also get out and run and walk along the beach and actually go to the beach and swim in the ocean and do all the things that I don't really have opportunity throughout the week to do. And so I do try at the summertime, especially this time of year. It's really nice. The water is perfect to try and take advantage of this beautiful beach that I live right at, and get on my bike and go to the boardwalk and just do as many different things as possible. And so it's one of the reasons why I haven't really made a lot of content, because it does obviously take time. And I have obviously been, you know, being out in the sun and stuff like that, you do feel, you know, very tired, but I think I've gotten used to it, so I don't feel as tired today.
Like, sit there and think,
thankfully.
Where can I go? What can I do? What are my options? And they are very, very limited. Folks, I'm talking about full digit. I'm talking about 108 to 111 degrees. From early till right now it's 90 in the car. So it probably feels like 95 out there.
Well, maybe you should plan your day earlier for things that you should film. You can film it early, get it done, get it edited nicely and uploaded. Maybe you could go to a coffee shop where they have internet and you could take advantage of their wireless maybe, and do your editing on your phone and take advantage of their air conditioning, and have a cowboy coffee, maybe McDonald's. I know they have Wi-Fi, and actually, you know, do something like that. And you know, there's other ways, and just go to bed earlier at night after you had dinner, whatever, Tim.
But it's not overhead, so
and not your wife.
Not as bad, but it's also 7:30 p.m. At 3 or 4 o'clock, from 10 all the way till 3 or 4 o'clock, the best part of the day. Can't be out here. It's like being on one of them planets. It's uninhabitable. So, and to be honest with you, going to the gym and walking at the mall, I just felt so guilty after eating a steak and just sitting there on my duff that if I didn't go walk, but where's there to walk? There's nowhere I want to walk outside, and I live in the ghetto. I'm in Bradenton. Let's get this clear. I was going to show you guys, but I'm not going to do it now. I'll show you tomorrow or something. I came a different way from where I live to this shopping area, up Honore and up 60th. I'm telling you, there is a part of Bradenton from right around here, right down this road here, all the way down to 301, pretty close to where you're getting into my ghetto neighborhood. That is the gym of Sarasota, Bradenton. It's the absolute best part over Lakewood Ranch.
That's twice you've now referred to the area that you reside in as with the G word, Tim. I just, so problematic. I don't even know where to start, but that's pretty. I mean, and you try to then sell in one hand on your videos that it's the best life ever, and you can't, want to ever think of trading in the location that you live in because you have the place to park your camper and you have the shed, which you get to keep the stolen golf clubs of Johnny Vegas.
Over everything, and it's one community
They all
subdivision after another. I've already planned out.
And I have to thank Jay for finding the actual clip where Tim mentions that they were ones that Dino had picked up Johnny's golf clubs and had brought them to Tim because Tim had no golf clubs to use while he was out in Vegas or Utah or wherever it was at the time. And so that was the story that Johnny Vegas told me, was that he had, and this was long before this had come out, and I hadn't spoken really about it because Johnny Vegas asked me obviously not to really, he wants to just forget about it. But Tim's sitting back.
I'm going to take you down that road and I'm going to pull into each community. I'm just going to stick my nose in and come back out. You can kind of just see, a lot of them have gates, so I couldn't go anyway, but they have a little turnaround area. But most of them don't. Most of them are neighborhoods you can go in, subdivision, and you can just see the one or two.
Tim, you made out that people were not allowed to enter your RV park, which is clearly open to the public. And yet you're talking about sticking your nose into residential neighborhoods and for your filming purposes, because you saw the one video did so well when you showed the tiny home or the mobile park. Maybe that's more your audience, Tim, because your audience are supposedly people who are retiring early and who are living a minimalist, because this is what you advertised, okay? Because of the fact that they're retiring at 62. Maybe they didn't really put money away. You always said that before, but now you're all debt free because you got the EIDL loan, and that is not allegedly. We have the filing numbers.
Homes from the road.
So that's truth.
How inviting it looks. If rates came down and people started selling their houses, there's going to be so many people wanting to move here. There is, if anybody's selling in there, any of those communities or subdivisions, the community is big. Subdivision is smaller. And the community itself is the whole thing. And you go down this one road, and I mean, there's a dozen.
This is the other smoke signal to Tammy. Because every time I feel like this is her changing apartments or wherever Tammy is now moving to, Tim is always hinting with multiple videos, calling her sweet baby and all of that he describes as this perfect woman. It's Tammy. It's Tammy. It's him trying to butter Tammy up. Okay, it's Tim's Tammy. It's nothing to do with Tim trying to get anybody else. And this is again, I always feel like it's him like saying, let's get a place, And Tim doesn't want a simple little mobile, that over 55. And that got some of your best views recently, Tim. I don't know if this will.
Divisions that I would live in any of them. I just saw the house from the street driving by. I say, I live in there. I live in that one. I live in that one. And most of them are homes. There's a couple of them that are condos. And I'll show it to you because nothing's ever going to be, I don't care how much they come down, affordable to me. But many of you out there that watch that, are looking to buy real estate, somewhere to move to, you want to move to Florida. Sarasota could be one of the most beautiful places.
I thought all you had to do was take in that 100K plaque into Wells Fargo and they were going to give you a mortgage.
In the United States to live in. Believe me, there's some wonderful places to live, but the reason it makes it one of the top is because it's Florida. It is coastal, and this got the best people in the world. The demographics, just the whole attitude of people here, it's amazing. I would never consider living anywhere else. I did, but no, Not now. I don't care how damn hot it is, because it's hot everywhere, I understand. But there's a highway patrol with his sirens on. But I'm going to show you this, and you're going to see. And this is going to open the eyes. It opened mine. The reason I discovered it, I've been down that road once, but I wasn't maybe paying attention. I put in my maps, directions to BJ's, because I wanted to get some gas. I didn't need it, but I just thought I'd top it off. I went over to get my car washed. And I knew there was a back road. And I didn't want to take the University Parkway that I'm on now, the way I always go home, the main artery. I said, in case there's any traffic, I know I'll avoid it on this side road. And man, I'm so glad I did. What a beautiful drive, what a beautiful road. How cool it would be to have money. And I'm not talking about, you don't have to be wealthy. Well, you kind of do to buy anything today, don't you? You really do. How cool it would be, if you had, a spouse and you both had money, income, pensions, Social Security, whatever, savings, something, bought and sold a couple of homes already in your life, got money in the bank, and you sell a place and you come down here and you buy in one of these. You would be so happy. I mean, because we've got the best shopping.
Tim, this doesn't sound like anything that this is truly, I believe, what Tim wants in life. This is what Tim wishes he had in his life. Even though he wanted to play and have the hundos in the pocket and, go do Tim, because I think one of the videos he talks about that one, Father of the Year. He is very interested in having had accumulated wealth. Tim wants to be a wealthy man. He wants to live in a nice house and eat steak every night and be considered more than just his cars. He portrays these very shallow symbols of wealth continuously. He tries to show it with the shoes and the shirts and the shorts and, but he's shopping at, not really super expensive places, but he, tries to get nice brands. So he looks like he's got some, it together, and the watches and obviously the vehicles when he pulls up, and which most people who have any accumulated wealth know that cars are the last thing you worry about. You got to get all the other stuff before you worry about the car. But Tim doesn't really want to be the camper guy.
Area, we got the best state, we got the best beaches, and the word's already out, so it doesn't matter if I promote it or not. The word's been out for about 10 years now about Sarasota, Bradenton. It's just exploded. So yeah, I'm proud to be here.
And all of the things that he mentions take time, and it was during times where the companies that people work for were able to give much better benefits around pensions and so forth, which we don't really see so much with current employment. Not so many companies are offering it. It's much more limited. And so people were able to really take a good advantage of that. And so Tim, though, he had these opportunities, but he wanted to play. Tim wanted to play. But it takes time and effort and persistence and planning and a lot of things that Tim's sort of very, satisfy me now, make me happy now sort of type personality is not going to want to do. That sort of long-term payoff. That's, it never would have worked for Tim.
Over and like I say, I just use that word. It's not unsafe. It's just that people don't know how to act on Friday and Saturday night. They get to doing their drinking and racing their cars, and you can hear them. And I live in a box, so I can hear things more. During the holidays, like on 4th of July, they blow fireworks up for 4 days before and 4 days after until 4 in the morning. It's just what it is. Otherwise, I'm not going anywhere. That's for darn sure. Not with the price that I'm paying. And here's the thing: if you took a drone and you went up in the air, I'm in the same. I'm not in the neighborhood, but I can drive to all these wonderful things. that these people that could buy in these homes I'm talking about can go to and hang out as much as anybody. But when I retreat back to the home 20, my home base, I'm going back to a camper. They're going back to a bitchin' house in a sweet subdivision. When you see the video, you're going to love it. And I know that somebody will see it and they'll come down there and move in. There's a lot of people when they want to move somewhere, they're like, well, where do you begin? You get a realtor. What do you do? I got a video for you that will put you bullseye with lots of choices. Not one subdivision, but the main place you want to be. One of them in all of Sarasota, Manatee County. Really, I think so. What I saw tonight. All right, so that's the end of that story. Moving on. Tonight, I might make a video about old Tammy.
Tim, is Tim in the camper, or is this? I cannot figure out if it's his way of trying to get Tammy to like use some of the profits that she has. He's not going to be able to qualify for a mortgage, obviously. He doesn't have a job with an income. And that's one of the things that makes it difficult unless you have like a home that you've sold and you're purchasing another place and you're just paying it in cash. If you're needing any type of loan, you're going to need employment to get that loan.
Old time days, like maybe I'll do a storytelling. It won't be about cars and stuff. We already did that. Somebody asked me to make a video on what cars I had. I'm not old enough to have a lot of cars except new cars. I didn't have rich parents. I drove sleds, beaters. I mean, and I was in the car business for many years that provided me a new demo. So I kind of went through the car thing a lot differently. I had some bitchin' cars, but they're all brand new. New Toyotas when I was 17 years old selling cars. I had a new demo, Buicks, all of them. I drove Park Avenues, Mercedes. When I worked at a Chevy store, they didn't give me a bitchin' Camaro or a Corvette, but I had a really sweet Monte Carlo, 77, 70. That was the last year of the big one. Then 78, they chopped them. I read a few comments where people said they had like these 76 Cutlasses. And, in 78, is when I guess it was a gas crisis, and they started chopping them down, and they all became a lot smaller. Those are pretty sweet little cars too, the short ones. But 75, 6, and 7, Cutlass, Monte Carlo, Malibus, those were larger, nice cars. They really were. That was kind of coming to the end, 78, and maybe it was the 80s where they started, getting more technologically. Give my little flasher to that guy for letting me over. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Nice part of the day right now.
Tim rolling around in his mobile air conditioning unit, talking about cars. Well, he certainly can chit chat.
I could go for a zing. I don't need any more coffee. Then again, I might just.
The zing is going to have caffeine and sugar. And I would say just get some water, Tim. Sometimes it's good just to have water, especially if you're supposed to be doing all this exercise and all your other issues around your colon. I mean, so much.
I'm drinking a lot of coffee every day now.
Yeah, you are.
So, I don't need any headlights when it gets dark front end. Man, I was looking at everybody in the mall and I was walking around wearing like drab, beige, tan, white t-shirts, plain Jane. Here I come, neon. Wow, this is a bright shirt. Why do you see my red one to go with my red Vomeros? They match perfect. Got a pair of black shorts on. I got the black Reebok thing here. Thank you very much. Several of you that complimented my
it's very superficial
get up and how I'm looking, with the health thing. So I really appreciate that. I read those. I haven't answered too many comments today or even last night. I've been really absorbed.
I think you look as crispy and red as those bacon chips that you made, Tim. That's my thoughts. I don't think you look good. I think you look drawn, and I think that you're looking burnt. You just need to learn that You can still get a nice suntan even wearing sunscreen.
Or into watching a lot of these spiritual YouTube videos. Like, now, where am I at? Is this my road? Can I turn here? Well, why is this guy stopping?
I don't like that.
You know, my eyesight. I don't know.
Just when he said that, I was thinking his eyes are not looking that good. And now he's talking about his eyesight. Tim, I've got some concerns about your eyes. But you don't. So I guess you'll just roll with the vision loss because you need to use your eye drops. And I hope that you are.
Man. It seems like the sun and the fog.
And the fact that you have active, glaucoma that you have tried to treat and 2 procedures and still haven't obtained the pressure control that they would like you to have, and you're not wearing sunglasses. I don't know if it's because want to have more connection with your audience and therefore you need to not, but then maybe not filming I don't know, because it's not beneficial for your eyes. I even wore my sunglasses into the water. I can't bear to have my eyes anywhere near the sun, especially this time of year. Especially blue eyes. It's the worst.
You look, it looks kind of hazy.
God, that's not
good.
Like
I look at the videos, I feel like my eyes are red all the time.
Oh.
I look like a stoner. But I'm not. I'm not.
Goodness. Okay, let me see. How long have we been filming for so we don't overdo it? But let me just show this real thing real fast about the glaucoma eye drops prevent vision loss, but only if patients use them. And it actually says that that they use eye drops work to prevent glaucoma progression, but only if taken on a regular and consistent basis. There's supposedly about 40%. That's really high of patients who do not take their glaucoma medications as prescribed or do not continue to refill them. And we know that Tim's talked about always wanting to stop his medications and hopes he can get rid of them and so forth. And I don't think he understands that this is kind of a lifelong condition now. And you're going to have maintenance of this if you want to maintain your vision and be able to drive around in your mobile air conditioning unit and deliver this awesome content to your followers and haters like myself. It's important to tell your doctor about how you use your eye drops. You got to be truthful because your doctors, have got to be aware what's going on because they got to tailor your care on this. And you can't be cycling off and on and using your drops, time just before your next appointments, because this can be damaging to your eyes and confusing to the doctor who needs to measure changes to your eye pressure over time. And I think since Tim feels like he got, a longer period between appointments, he can probably misbehave. You're supposed to take, wait 5 minutes, you've got to do these things if you want to have good results. And I don't know if Tim is wanting to, he seems to be somebody who would not follow the advice of his physician.
Sober as I can be. Too sober. Sometimes I feel like I need a drink. Those were the days.
Goodness.
I used to really enjoy it. I'm going to tell a story tonight. I just don't know which one.
I don't even know if he got out and told a story. I don't know. I think I want to say this might have been the last video because he had to go and help Tammy with the toilet brush.
I guess I could do them every night. I've got so many. If you would, be so inclined to indulge me. I was going to make one the other day talking about how I got married at 16. I was going to talk about things I did in high school, and I was going to talk about when I was in the car business, not how to buy a car and all that, but just some of the stories. And I don't know, can't think right now, but
why are we having to get so many, reminiscing stories? Is it because you can't really, if you kind of petered out on the carnivore already, Tim? Oh my goodness. I'm glad that light came back.
I've been basically a man, a father, a husband, a supporter of people since I was 16 years old. And
How? Supporter of people? I don't think that's how you've described your relationship. You kind of described yourself as kind of kicking out of everything somehow in your 30s, Tim. And so that gives 30 years of you not being a provider. I have a feeling you're making up some white lies here. Ah, my goodness, provider. Providing what to who? You didn't even provide health insurance. Goodness me.
did my time.
Super
And I
time.
fired them all. I got out.
That's not how it hopefully works with parenthood. I mean, I know that's the way we kind of were raised, that you did it on your own and that was it. But I think nowadays in the modern world, with some of the things that could be putting obstacles for our younger generations of our families to progress in society, I think we need to help out our families. I think this is a really not great attitude to have. And the fact that Tim thinks what the, I mean, like, you didn't probably pay for these people even to go to college, Tim. I mean, seriously. And we're all surprised why he's not there with any of his children at Christmas. Wonder why? Probably because their mums are there and they don't want to see this dude.
And I said, the hell with that. This is Tim's life, Tim time. So I'm just making jokes.
No,
But
no, it's not jokes, Tim, because sometimes jokes are deeply seated in reality of somebody's life. That's where a lot of comedians get their jokes from. So no, it's not jokes, Tim. It's Tim's time. It's always been Tim's time. I don't think it's never not been a time. It's been Tim's time. I'm sure that Tim always made time for Tim. And the time that recently you supposedly were doing something for somebody else, which was taking Rafaela to the airport and picking her up, you complained so much about it. Something that you should be happy just to the fact that you're retired, you don't have much else to do. Take someone to the airport. But you probably complained because you knew that they do so much for you, you couldn't ask for gas money.
I've been a solo guy, and since I've been recently more solo than I was, it's all fallen back in. Like, I'm familiar with this. This is easy. Some people have a tough time with that. They want to, oh boy, I gotta, I can't be alone. And I'm not saying alone is good.
Tammy, you seem to be having a really tough time, and I don't know if you're alone or not. And we don't know if that was the toilet brush to help Tammy clean up the apartment. Who knows, Tim? You can just be saying this to put people off the scent. I don't know with you.
Or that I haven't felt sadness and loneliness. I'm not saying that. I'd be lying if I did. But
that says a lot more about you, in my opinion, than anything else, Tim, because if you cannot be comfortable with your own self for any length of time, because it's not been that long since Tammy and the infamous shove it in their face, throw it in their face coffee comment, and you guys went off on a trip recently to the Metropolitan Hotel or whatever that place was that you went to. I don't think you've been solo, Tim. Jesus. I don't think you know how to be alone, to be honest.
No, it is what it is. And life goes on. But I don't think that I'm looking to recreate that.
And if you're not comfortable being like I said, in your own self, on your own skin, on your own, then that's very problematic. You need to be able to function on your own, especially at 66 years old. You would hope that you wouldn't feel the desperate need to have this type of companionship. because I feel like there's very little give with you, Tim. You just want someone to pal around and talk to. Maybe you should do more live streaming.
I will let it happen if it happens. You know, some people want to make it happen. They go online, they go to bars, they get aggressive in their, you know, speaking to people. Hey, what chance of me tonight? I mean, and that betters their odds for sure. People that go online and start chatting people up, join churches or social clubs or boating clubs, scuba diving clubs, cycling, gyms. You start chatting them up in there. You can, you know, somebody once told me a long time ago is how people meet. Most people meet. Tell me if you agree or not in the comments. It's at their jobs.
Mm.
You know, I work for myself all my life, so
I don't think it's good to. They always say don't eat where you don't. To make number twos where you eat, sort of thing. You know, like you don't want to make accidents. You know what I'm talking about.
I didn't. When I was in the car business for a while, but I was married then. You can meet, but like in offices or companies, people meet each other through that. I guess has to be some kind of common ground. But you know, whatever happens, happens. A lot of you have told me in the comments, like, don't do it. You know,
Oh, it's kind of like an extension of school. It's you know, more people, especially large corporations, of lots of adults and many who probably should not be hanging out, as indicated by the CEO and the head of HR who were caught on the Coldplay camera. That's when work relationships go wrong. There's a lot of affairs. I've seen it even in the hospitals. I'm not going to say.
I mean, it's
trouble.
You know, my situation's not the best. And hey, if you didn't have her, or she didn't have you, or you didn't have him, I should say, you'd probably be bad. You know, can't live with them, you can't live without them. But once you get used to someone and you've been sharing your life, you know, you brought kids into the world and you're sharing the responsibility of everything. You get to enjoy things. You get your vacations, your memories. Some people are like, yeah, enough. I'm just making jokes. I'm going to get a zing, but I don't need one. Mm-hmm. It's 8 o'clock. Let's go to bed. Get a shower, relax, put on a cowboy movie. Home, crap home. Nah. See, I'd miss this. And he's got a nice big fifth wheel. Some of these people here got some.
Is this a cry out to Tammy? I never can figure out. He's been very negative on this location recently. So very negative.
Big ass. Nice fifth wheels. What are you got for sale sign on that one now? Looking to sell it, are we? Well, good luck. By the way, before we end the video, Carvana has got me in their system when I tried to sell the CC Rider. That's my car. And I don't know, I hear from them once a month maybe. And the last couple of months, hey, your car went down, your car went down. I got one yesterday. Hey, your car's in demand. Your car went up. And guess how much? Now, this doesn't mean that's what somebody would pay. Somebody could pay more. Somebody would offer less. Cars are worth what people will give you for them. But you got to, start somewhere. And it said it went up $1,000 to $30,200. This junk.
Tim, you were trying to get like 30. This junk. You are being such a negative Nelly. And it's lost money from what you tried to sell it for back at the beginning of the year. So I would say that's not a great asset. That's thousands of dollars. It's just over 30 and you paid 40-some thousand for it just last year? What?
Let's get inside. Let's maybe think about a story time video tonight. Can't promise it. It's already 8 o'clock. I'll be ready to go to bed here soon. Crush it.
And Tim did not give that story time video, obviously. All right, guys, if you did get this far on my live stream, my video, I do appreciate it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And if you did get this far, make sure to leave me, if there's a gate emoji, because those are all the gates of all the places that Tim is going to be barred from entering in these really nice neighborhoods. All right, guys, it's great to catch up with you all, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Bye.